So, you want to make YouTube videos but you don't have a fancy camera or a studio to film in? Lucky for you, you don't need all of that fancy equipment to get started on YouTube. And in this video, I am going to go over, in my opinion, the best budget YouTuber setup, or a content creator setup, of course. Chances are you're watching this video on your smartphone, and modern smartphones have gotten increasingly better cameras every year, and that improvement in quality even trickles down to mid-range phones. So unless you're rocking a Galaxy S3 from 2012, which still might be useful for other things, you definitely already have a decent camera in your pocket. All you need is a tripod, which you can get for really cheap these days, and you have a camera. Editor Ahmed here. My shirt color was bothering my OCD a lot, so I thought I'd let you know so it bothers your OCD too. It will be fixed in this video. Sorry. Now we actually see some bigger YouTubers use smartphones for cameras. One great example is Ryan Trahan, who uses his iPhone as sort of a vlog camera. We even saw this in a Mr. Beast video where he handed S24 Ultras to all of the contestants. I myself use a nearly 3-year-old mid-range phones for all of my videos. And as you can tell, it's not that bad, especially if you have decent lighting, which we will talk about in a later section. I would recommend recording in at least 4K if you have the capability, and ProRes if you have a Pro iPhone. Some of the newer Galaxy S series also have the capability to record in RAW format, which I would recommend you do. But you're gonna need some knowledge on how to color correct if you do decide to do that. The reason I recommend using the highest possible resolution is so if you have to crop in, you can, since smartphone cameras are usually pretty wide. And I would only recommend using the primary lens and not the ultra wide or the telephoto, because that can cause some distortion. 30 FPS is fine for talking head videos like this one, but I would recommend you go to 60 FPS if there's a lot of action. Also consider subscribing if you want more tips like these. Now smartphones are great at video, but unless you're in a really quiet room or have your smartphone really close to you, the audio is just not going to be that great. So you're definitely going to need an external microphone. I personally use the Boya M1 lav mic, which costs around $15 US. There are more recent versions of this mic, but they do cost a bit more, but they do have some quality of life improvements, but more or less the same thing. You can plug this mic directly into your smartphone or camera. It has a really long wire, so there shouldn't be any issues doing that. Or you can plug it into your computer or laptop and record audio separately like I do. This gives me the ability to add noise cancelling while I'm recording rather than having to add it in post-production, which takes up a lot of time. There are some other options for mics. If you want something with a few more features, you can always go with the tried and true Blue Yeti. But it is substantially more expensive. Do keep that in mind. What you should also keep in mind is that I'm asking you to like the video, because if you're enjoying it so far, you should like it. Before we get to the next point, I have a little bonus for you. If you want to record your gameplay on console, but don't like the recording limits, and you can't afford an expensive capture card, then this cheap little capture card will do the trick. It's only $3 US and can only record at 720p at 30 FPS, but it's definitely good enough for the price. I made a short about this thing, you should check it out. Now to get decent lighting, you can buy some very well priced equipment online, or you can do what I do, which is use whatever I already have, which is a lamp with the white cloth over it to diffuse the light. Definitely not safe. And you should place this primary light at a 45-degree angle to your subject, and the secondary can just be your room lights. You can also sit by a window, but there's a lot of variation there from the clouds and the time of day, so that definitely won't be a long-term solution. Definitely also consider some background lights like this RGB strip that I have, that I got for like $3. It adds some depth to the shot, which helps separate the foreground and the background. So after recording, it's time to edit. But you don't want to pay the exorbitant prices from Adobe, and you also don't want them spying on you. Well, if you're on PC, I would recommend you get the free version of DaVinci Resolve. It's definitely a learning curve, but there's a lot of great features and it's pretty easy to run as well. And obviously there's tons of YouTube tutorials to help you get started. But if you don't have a computer, you can just use CapCut on your phone. There's a lot of features and effects, and I personally use the auto captioning feature for my shorts. After all of that, all you need to do is make a thumbnail, which you can do in Canva, and hit upload. And just like that, your video is ready to be viewed by the whole world. Just like this video up here, which you should definitely check out, which is also available for the whole world to view. See ya.